right. Well, welcome back, Harlem. This is season 2 of the podcast with your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough. I'm excited to not only start our second year, but to be here for this episode. To start things off, we have something in Harlem called Orange and Black. You know, every year, COVID, kind of took some steam off of it. A couple years ago, but we started to bring it back up, last year, and this year I'm really excited for what it could be. And so, in starting this podcast, we have Coach Monahan here. Coach Monahan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. I appreciate you stopping by, and particularly for this podcast. And so, I promised Coach that there would be no questions that are going to be humiliating or anything like that. Sometimes I keep my promises, sometimes I don't. But we'll see how this flows, especially this being the first episode of the new season. And so let's start with before we go any further in. Of course, everyone should know who you are. I believe they should. But just for just in case somebody don't, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Quickly, your background, how many years you've been in the district, and then current position.
Okay. This is my fourth year in the district. I came over, interviewed for a head football coach, and came over here. Okay. Prior to that, I'd been coaching at Zion Benton for 5 years, 10 years at St. Viator High School, and had a stint at North Chicago and Proviso East. It was pretty good. I played college football on a scholarship, so I like to try to get the guys that want to play to go ahead and do that. And we make one promise. I make promise to all the kids that play for me. Mm-hmm. If they want to play somewhere, I'll find a place for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I do that.
No, that's good. Good. So why Harlem?
I really liked the way that the community was around with the young men. And the young men were very positive about football. It was... I don't know if it's necessarily a football school, but it's really a athletic school with all athletes. And in prior years, I might have been at a football school or a basketball school. I liked how Harlem was multidimensional with athletics.
Okay. No, that's good. Good. And thanks for sharing all of that. And so when you think of Orange and Black, specifically, obviously you're 4 years in, and you've been a part of the community and things of that nature and tradition. So when you think of Orange and Black, what does that mean to you?
It means, to me, it's a toughness. It's a pride factor. Okay. Being a Husky and the Orange and Black, I mean, it's something that is just built into the school. Mm-hmm. I think our young men, as a matter of fact, we raised the money to get orange jerseys, orange and black jerseys. Okay. For that reason, we want to be orange and black. That's who we are. We want the entire area to know who we are. We want the state to know who we are. Okay. So, and we are known as the Orange and Black, and that's perfect. We get after it.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, we have you on representing not only football but other athletic programs as well, because Orange and Black, obviously, is more than just football. And so, in saying that, what would you say as a representative up here for other coaches as well about reasons why someone should come out for Orange and Black and enjoy it and things of that nature?
I think it sets the tone for all of our sports throughout the school. I mean, whether it's the youth in the middle school all the way up through high school. And I think most of our athletes are multi-sport athletes, and we promote that. So as they continue through the football, this year we had some baseball players come out and some basketball players. And they've done a great job with us, and they're going to be integral parts of our program this year. But I don't think if they felt that we were a divisive type group, I don't think they would have joined it. Okay. And I think if we all work together doing that and make it all one sport, one Harlem, I think you're going to see some amazing things happen here. And I've talked to a couple of reporters about it too. I just think Harlem has that heartbeat. Okay. I really do.
No, and that's good to hear. And so when we're fast forwarding to Friday night, because that's when Orange and Black is, right? Mm-hmm. I think it starts at 6. You correct me if I'm wrong. And then, so with your portion with the football team, let the audience know how that's going to look.
You're going to see from the ground up. I mean, you're going to see our 7th and 8th graders go at it a little bit from the middle school. We did start 7th grade last year during COVID.
Okay.
This year our numbers are huge. We've got 68th graders playing football.
Right.
You're going to see the freshmen and sophomores go at it a little bit,
Okay.
and then you'll see the varsity. You're not going to see as much from the varsity because we're starting to do a few things a little differently.
Okay.
And you'll see some of our offense, but you won't see all of it.
Yeah.
You'll see our defense. That hasn't changed too
Okay,
much.
we can't give Hononegah too much, right? We
No,
can't
we're not gonna
give away too much right now.
Yeah, we're not going to give anything.
No. I mentioned Hononegah, but I could have mentioned any other school in
Right.
10 as well. So
Right.
we'll keep it there.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned the helmets and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew there was a time, at least I saw an article and things like that, of there being a shortage, with helmets. How are we now with Harlem?
We've always been good because
Okay.
we got on the front end of it. We, thank God for the district and our AD. They did a tremendous job of staying ahead of the curve,
Okay.
understanding that there was probably going to be some hiccups along the way.
Yeah.
But we have gotten all of our kids in helmets and shoulder pads. So I can't say that's true everywhere else.
Okay.
And you've seen articles
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But here at Harlem, we have anyone that wanted to play football and in a helmet and shoulder pads. So the district did a great job, and our AD did a great job.
Perfect. No, that's good to hear. And so, there has to be some humiliation, a little bit of questions here, but I was thinking about it, like what would I want to ask you now that I have you in front of the camera, specifically when it came to football. And so let's think of what was your most embarrassing moment, either as a football coach or as a player that you wouldn't mind sharing with the audience.
I would say for me, I mean, this will be, it happened here, one of them, but the other one happened in college. I'll give you both.
Okay.
All right, the one in college was the only penalty I had in 4 years of playing college football.
Okay.
And I ran off the wrong way because I had a bad knee. It got hit by a guy, and the coach sent in a substitute as the clock was running down.
Okay.
So the play clock, and they're getting ready to snap the ball, and here comes in a substitute. And I just felt I could run anywhere off the field, and I ran off to their sideline. I wasn't hurt or anything. I just said, I got to get off the field, or we're going to get nailed for too many men on the field.
Okay.
Not understanding that it's still a penalty.
It's still a penalty.
So that was an embarrassing moment for me because that happened at Busch Stadium in a bowl game.
Did they accept you on their sideline, though?
Oh, yeah, I was a pretty clean player, so they didn't. I didn't have any of those issues.
Okay.
And then the other one was the Belvedere game when, and people will say, "Oh, you got kicked out of a game." Well, it was kind of weird how I got kicked out.
Okay.
Is we were on the field, but they said we were 35 seconds late.
Okay.
So it's not really is it a? So it does embarrass me to this day. I mean, because I've never, like I said, in football, in college, I had one penalty, and that was it.
Right.
And other than that, I haven't been penalized.
Gotcha.
So that one bothered me a little bit. And then when one of my players was arguing with the official about it was a late hit, he should be penalized. You didn't throw the flag. And I told him to be quiet. You're not going to get the call. And here came the second flag. And I'm like, what is that for?
It just happened. Boom, boom.
Right. And so, people will sit there and say, oh, that happened. And I'm like, but for the circumstances, it wasn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're like, but it's embarrassing because I've never had that happen.
Gotcha.
So it was very embarrassing for me, and it still is.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing those. And so I'm going to ask you a question here, and for those that have seen season 1, it normally goes with somebody who you really know. So hopefully you get this one right. So in all of your years coaching, and actually leading up to your preparation to be a coach, that's a hint, by the way. Who has been your favorite, most trusted, most supportive assistant coach? Oh, I hope you get this right.
Oh, wow.
She's probably been with you through all the years of you trying to be a coach, helping you get positions, being there.
It is definitely, there's one person I have in mind for this, and it would be my wife,
There you
Joyce.
go. All right.
She supports me 100% through everything. And I don't think if you don't have a wife that's similar to her, it's extremely difficult to be a successful head coach.
Okay.
Because, and you're seeing less and less of that as we go on. some wives just don't understand that you do have two families.
Gotcha.
And that's one thing when we're talking and I tell the kids this and they look at me like I'm crazy,
right.
The football players, but I'll be talking at home to family members and other people, and they're like, I didn't think you had any kids that were able to play football yet. You have the three girls, and Bobby graduated. And she goes, he has two families. He's got his football family and our family. He's talking about his football family right now.
Absolutely.
And so some women don't understand that. But she's been just tremendous throughout the years.
Good. Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting her. I think it was last year. Maybe it was last year during one of the playoff seedings, or maybe 2 years ago, and she just seems like a phenomenal person. And so that's good. All right, and so you wear two hats here in the district, so not just football coach, obviously you're a teacher as well, right? And so in thinking about, we got school starting on Wednesday, August 17th. So what are some words of advice you would give students as they are preparing for not only the start of school, but obviously maintaining that momentum of feeling excited that first day outfit, all those things. But we all know there's more that goes into having a successful school year. So what would be advice from Coach Monahan?
I think the biggest advice I could give to any of the students is a lot of the students sometimes don't understand where the teachers are coming from.
Okay.
And I think if they understood that if they tried and give it their 100%, that they're going to be successful.
Okay.
That everyone here is really trying to help your success in the long run. Okay. Just give your 100% to it. If you give your 100%, things are going to go well for you.
All right.
And I don't think, I believe that is from every teacher in this district.
Okay.
They just want that little bit of, show that you care. We have to show that we care as well, which we do. We try, and sometimes maybe we're lax at that, but we're going to get better at it. And I think, just stay with it, bear with it. No matter what the worst thing that happens to you throughout the first few months, it's going to get better. Just trust the process.
That's good. Perfect. And great words of advice for our student athletes. And so not just football players, but all of our students. Yes. And that's great. And so my final question for you is, so it's Friday night. So this is orange and black, but not just orange and black. And you're at the concession stand, and we all know I like to eat, everybody. And so what would be your choice to get?
I don't get to see our concession stand, unfortunately.
I know you don't.
So I can't. But I've heard there's a pork chop sandwich that's to die for.
You are absolutely
okay.
Right. I try to make sure I
haven't had one yet because I'm out there.
Yeah, we need to bring one to you while you're,
after a game,
or something. Yeah, we save one for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, and so last bit of embarrassment. We're still going to keep this season 2 going. You're a football coach, but here's a basketball thing that we normally do. So we're going to try a shot on the ESPN bucket here. Let's see if you can make this. Oh, over the top. We'll leave it at over the top. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on, and obviously good luck with the season.
Thank you.
Looking forward to orange and black, and everything. And so we appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody, again. This is our orange and black edition. We just finished talking with Coach Monahan, and now we have the pleasure of having the Harlem High School principal, Dr. Jeremy Bois, on. So excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Dr. Yarbrough.
So before we get into orange and black and tradition and things like that, we start school on Wednesday.
Yeah. It's I love this time of year. Mm-hmm. It's it's certainly a nice this feeling of energy and excitement. Sure we all enjoy our summers, but getting back to doing what we do is it's exciting for me. I'm pumped up. Seeing a new group of freshmen is always super exciting, and get that first glimpse to see where they are, and we get to see them grow over the next 4 years. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's exciting times for sure.
Yeah, and I also used to get excited. I know when I was a student and teacher and kind of administrator as well, those first days of school outfits, right? And I noticed you came in and you have your orange on and things like that. But if we can get a close up of the shoes here, I don't know if we can see the Jordans.
Yeah, they dropped some orange ones, and I've been telling and it, Mr. Lemons, one of our assistant principals, his shoe game is so much superior to everybody in the world. But I keep telling him, if they drop orange and black or orange ones, I'm going to get them. And I got lucky; they did. So my back to school shoes.
So when we talk about swag, we know where it's coming from. So everyone, I mean, for those Harlem High School students, you got the best dressed principal in Nick 10. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
I don't know about that, but credit where credit's due. When Dr. Yarbrough, when you greeted our new teachers, I know you had some orange and black Jordans on to kind of show that, so I took a page out of your playbook for sure, probably. Right. But I did have them ordered already at that point.
Yeah, any time. And so again, you welcome new staff today. Mm-hmm. How did that go?
It went really well. We've got 9 right now, but it'll probably be 10 or 11 new teachers coming in. I kind of call it the class of 22. I was the class of 04, so I've been here for a minute, but really exciting to introduce them to the staff. Everybody's super welcoming, bringing them on board, and kind of trying to show that school pride that we have in Harlem. Kind of why many of us have worked here for a long, long time, and why that is, and why we love working at Harlem. We got a lot of folks that have some good experience coming in, and we got some new teachers too. So. Okay. It's a pretty good balance, and it's fun to share that excitement with some new faces.
Perfect. Yeah, and I met a few of them, with new teacher orientation and new staff orientation. So if I missed anyone, I can't wait to see them and get a chance to talk with them again. So that's awesome. And so changing gears a little bit, this is a podcast about orange and black, and so you've been in the district how many years?
This is my 19th.
Okay, so you've seen quite a few orange and blacks, or been a part of quite a few orange and blacks. So can you tell the audience, what does it mean, to you, being, here for as long as you have, just the tradition of orange and black a little bit, and what it means to the community, and to the Harlem High School in general?
It's certainly a really important event. It's one of those events that captures the energy of the start of the school year. It's really, it kind of feels like that first day of school on the athletic side, where there's that excitement, everything's new, the kids are wearing their uniforms for the first time, the parents are seeing them, sometimes it's the first time the kids are going to compete on that volleyball court or on that field turf, freshmen through varsity, so that's super exciting. I think just orange and black, just kind of as an idea or kind of a brand, really, I think our community really unifies around that, and I think that's one of the many advantages of having a one high school district where, sure, Windsor's purple and gold, or Ralston might be blue, or whatever it may be, but the whole community identifies with that orange and black, idea, and I think that's super cool. I was talking with one of our new hires about how we both don't particularly like how we look in the color orange, but yet I wear orange 3-4 times a week. I buy orange shoes. I might got every possible pattern of orange tie, even though this one doesn't have a pattern. Cut me open, I bleed orange and black, so it's not really about the colors even. It's about that kind of unifying identity where we all are part of that Husky Nation, so to speak. Okay. And I think Orange and Black Night just kind of embodies that, it's not, it's like inner team competition, but nobody's up against anybody, and it's not like we're playing against ourselves is on the field as much as we're just kind of showcasing really where we're at as an athletics program. Okay. And I think this year's super important because we're really coming back strong. We've had it, over the last year in one way or another, but this is going to be really nice to be back full force. So over the years, I coached for a long time, and coaching, it was a totally different angle because I'm expecting a certain thing out of my team, and we've been working on this, and then, you see the kids, and they're just so excited just to kind of, there's people in the stands, and they're, they got the excitement of everything, and, you can kind of just got to take a step back and just enjoy it, and enjoy that first chance to really wear the Harlem colors, which is an honor, and it's so nice that we have so many athletes that can do it at the high school level.
Absolutely. No, thanks for sharing that. And so if you would say, and obviously, Coach Monahan was on, and he's our football coach. And like I was saying to him, we could have probably had any representative from the sports, teams, up here. And so when you think of orange and black and you think of the sports that are being showcased and things of that nature, why is it you think it's important for them to be able to do that, students to be able to showcase just what they're doing?
I think it's huge because, we're very proud of our football program. Our football program is certainly very successful and, has a long, accomplished history. But we've got a lot of sports at Harlem High School, and we're competitive in a lot of sports. So I like orange and black because the cross-country team, volleyball, golf, soccer, cheer, dance, and I'm probably unintentionally swimming. I'm probably, like so many kids and so many student athletes. And it's just a really nice opportunity to show each and every one at all the levels, and they're all in the parade. Coaches, managers, the parents are there. Kids from the middle school, so I just think from a community standpoint, it's really nice that there might be more people there to watch the actual football part, because, it's the latest event and it has the most participants, but everybody gets to see cross country and swim and all the other sports. And, I've made it a point to do everything I can to get to every single sport. And I've learned a ton just in my, now starting my second year as principal about just kind of the culture of each sport. And it's so cool because every sport, they support themselves, swimming is they got their own chants and everything. I was like during diving. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, like they'll all have their own chants when they get a certain score in diving, and then everybody gets completely quiet, and then they do it again. And cross country is so supportive. Everybody's. It's not about. I mean, of course, it's about winning the competition, but it's more about like finding that extra push within yourself. Volleyball, all the sports, and fall sports do get a little bit more exposure on the orange and black, but I think it's more just because that time of year, that energy at the beginning of school, and I think it does actually kind of transfer over to the winter and spring sports because we value all of our athletes so much. But I really do appreciate being able to take some time before school starts or right after school starts to look at those fall sport athletes and give them some space to shine.
Absolutely. No, thanks for saying that. And so you did not graduate from Harlem, right?
I did not.
You actually graduated from a nearby school.
I don't like to talk about it, but that's true.
And so when you think of the nearby school, and they have something similar to orange and black, right? What would you say, to those that if it fell on the same night, which sometimes it does, why would you do orange and black over that one?
Well, I personally don't eat pork chops, but I have heard that they're amazing.
There you go.
Well, I think that, ours is just such a community-wide event. Right. It's an opportunity. Like, you'll see all kinds of tents. The fans club will have a tent, and there'll be some shirts and opportunities to join the fans club and get involved. And, I also think that our inclusion of middle school is important and very cool as well, those fall sports. And I do feel that because we have, the one middle school feeding to the one high school, there's just much more of a kind of an identity around the Huskies, and I think that's super cool. And of course we got the band as well, and there's just so much going on. And I think that, when we're interviewing for our new positions, one of the candidates said something that I thought was really cool. We always ask our candidates, why do you want to work at Harlem? Right. And the candidate said, I just think it's really cool that when I'm driving here, I turn on to Husky Circle. Like this school's on Husky. He's like, that's cool. And he's like, when I'm sitting here and we try to, if you notice when you come to high school, there's way more Husky heads up. Like, we're really trying to put it like this is a source of pride for the whole community. That like our town, our city, our community calls the street that we're on Husky Circle. Like it's such an identity for us as a community. And a lot of communities have that, but I think ours is special. Of course I'm partial to it because it's, it's the school the community that I'm proud to be a part of. Right. But just kind of that feeling of togetherness and oneness and unity around orange and black. Like I said, not as colors, but as like an idea.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I always thought number one Husky Circle, that was it, right? Until I got some type of, mail one day or some call, and they said, hey, I need the address to the high school. I said, number one Husky Circle. He said, no, it's just something else. And I'm like, huh? It can't be anything else. And there is another address. And so that was funny. And then, two, obviously we're having fun with this. We're Nick 10 for a reason. We love all our schools in the Nick 10, support all our schools and what they do and things of that nature. So the neighboring school, if you are seeing this, we love you too, and all those good things.
Yeah,
and
they're all tied for second.
Yeah. There you go. And so, obviously, again, this is the start of the new school year, and starting your second year, as principal. What kind of advice, again, would you recommend students? Not only our new students coming in, but our upperclassmen, some getting ready to graduate and those type of things. What can they expect this year? What type of advice would you give them coming in?
I think it's really important for kids to know that they're amazing. Our kids are just phenomenal. They're brilliant. They're creative. They're fun. To know that about themselves before they walk into the classroom, to know that they're brilliant and that they bring something to every single place that they go, and that'll help everybody. So that kind of, I don't even know if I call it confidence or belief in themselves as much as just to know just how wonderful and beautiful and special they are, and how we feel that way about them. Every single teacher, every single support staff member, administrator, parent, people in the elementary level, people in this office, they see just what our kids bring to our classrooms.
Okay.
And that's why we're here. One, and two, just to know that we got you. Like, no matter what, if you need something, whether I can provide it personally or I know somebody who can, like, talk to anybody who works at Harlem High School or in the Harlem School District. Mm-hmm. If you need something, you need somebody to talk to, you need some help with some schoolwork, you got this crazy idea of something you think the school should do, anything. There's a staff member who specializes in that, and every staff member will listen to you. Okay. So we're not just there to support kids, although we'll support kids in everything. No matter what they need, we will provide that support for students, but we're also there our job is literally to help them accomplish their goals. That's why we exist. So what are your goals? What can we do to help? What do you need? And how can I help?
Okay.
And as a principal of school, I think that's my role, is to help you accomplish your goals and to reach your dreams. And sometimes that might look like support. Sometimes that might look like, a shoulder to lean on. And sometimes that might mean I'm pushing you a little bit.
Okay.
And sometimes that might mean, like, who you need to talk to is so-and-so. They'll hook you up. So take advantage of those resources and know that we work for the students first and foremost, and that's why we're here.
All right. No, thanks for sharing that. And so now we're gonna get a little personal.
Sure.
Just a little bit for anyone that's out there that wants to just kind of know a few things about Dr. Bois.
Sure.
Right. And so you're a runner. Right?
Yes.
You love to run. At least from what I remember, you love to run.
Uh-huh.
And so if someone could take hold of your phone and see your playlist, what's your top 5 songs in your playlist that you like? These are my go-to songs.
Well, wow. 5. Okay, so that's interesting.
Let's go dive deep.
Well, most of the time that I run, so I might look like I'm working hard and I'm really getting into it, and I'm actually listening to an audiobook, so there's a nice person reading me a story when it looks like I'm all pumped up. However, when I'm doing more like racing or whatever, I do listen to music. So my top 5, there's some Kendrick Lamar in there.
Okay.
Probably King Kunta is probably the song that I would go to, but also is it All the Stars from the Black Panther soundtrack?
Yeah,
that's in there.
So not only are you naming it, you actually, okay, go ahead.
Sure. That one kind of springs to mind. There's probably one by Metallica's probably in there. This is for like athletic, like, pump me up stuff. Yeah. So there's probably going to be some Metallica in there. There's, sometimes there's, I'm a big fan of like kind of like folkish type music, but that's not like the most like inspiring stuff. But there's probably going to be a little bit of that, like Brandy Carlisle or the Avett Brothers or something in that neighborhood. Yeah.
Paul McCartney, no.
Oh, the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles. There's a lot of songs too. Like they have a time and place. Like my family. Like I know that there's a song that I associate with my daughter, and there's a song I associate with my son. Many songs, but like, so there's I could probably put my daughter's song on or put my son's song on, and that would certainly fire me up. And I know like, I know we've talked about 90s R&B every now and then.
90s R&B,
You know it a lot better than I do, but there's a couple songs from like 90s hip hop that I'll put on too. So it varies, but I think my go-to would probably be King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar, one by Metallica, and then the other three would probably rotate with like something that means something to me.
That's good.
I started out so committed to titles and artists, and then I faded. So
that's okay. That means you guys got an extensive playlist, and I know the high school faculty who, if they see this, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, you play music at every faculty meeting, so you should be like rattling this off. I don't know if you still do that, but
sure,
used
yeah,
to, so that's
today we're recording this on 815, which is like Rockford 815 area code day, so it was all Cheap Trick today for a little bit of the local connection. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so when you just said Cheap Trick, who's the lead singer?
Robin Zander.
And what school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Harlem High School, I believe 1970.
Ooh, that is awesome, because I was asked that question recently and I got it wrong. So I applaud you for that. So that's awesome. And so then one of the final questions, actually the final question for you, is you've worked with a lot of people in the district, right? Not only colleagues but friends as well. So out of everybody that you've come across, who's your favorite person in the district?
Well, this district is full of talented teachers. Nothing will show you what you could have done as a classroom teacher more than evaluating. You go into classrooms and like, wow, I should have been doing that. I should have been doing that. The district happens to have the best teacher in the world. And I don't know if you knew this as superintendent, but the first and second grade structured teaching program has an amazing educator at Windsor Elementary. And I say this, I'm not joking. I do believe she's amazing. My wife teaches at Windsor, but it's so nice for me to see on the home front how hard teachers work, because she is so dedicated to her kids and will do anything for her kids. And when they have rough days, she has a rough day. Like when they're struggling, she's struggling to find ways, like, how can I do better? So it's so good for me to see that, because I see what teachers do. Right. And I taught, I know, but it's nice to stay current with that. So I have so much respect for her as an educator. I do think she's the best teacher in the world. But I also really like it because I can appreciate and see, like, we all take this stuff home with us. Right. We all live this profession. I always say teaching's not, being an educator is not what you do, it's who you are, right? And that's who we are as people. So, I see how hard she works and how much she cares about her kids and how amazing it is when there's triumphs and how, inspiring and challenging it can be at times. So, yeah, my favorite teacher in the district, I know we're not allowed to pick favorites, but Mrs. Bois at Windsor Elementary is certainly my favorite.
That is awesome. And I hope she sees this and she knows that. And so putting you on the spot just a little bit here, a few years ago, you started this thing with a championship belt, at the high school, to kind of go around to different people who were voted on, for the championship, and that was cool. And I thought that was really cool. And so looking at the camera, right there, and obviously Orange and Black is this Friday. Give your hypest promo to why someone should come and see Orange and Black. Go.
Okay. I'm not the most enthusiastic pro wrestling type motivator. However, I will say this. If you want to see amazing kids who have been working hard, not for 2 weeks since the season started, not for the summer, but for years, and are dedicated not only to the school but to themselves, and you want to see some kids who are working to better themselves under the guidance of some super dedicated coaches, or if you just want to have some fun, because it's fun to watch our kids competing and see how far they've come to Orange and Black, find me, say hey, get a pork chop sandwich. They're phenomenal. Join the fans club. And if you have anything at all that you're wondering about for Harlem High School, or any suggestions, anything like that, that's what we're there for. So come see us then too. So I don't know if this is hyping you up enough, but I certainly would love to see every member of the community at Orange and Black on Friday night.
That was awesome. Good job. Especially putting you on the spot.
Yes.
Like that. You got everything in there. So I appreciate you being on today. Obviously, if you saw season 1, we're continuing this on with season 2. There's the ESPN basketball.
I'm going to go for
there.
it.
Let's see
I
if
feel like a lot
this.
of people go over, so I'm going to go a little light on it. Ooh, that
I
was
think
way
you-
late. All right, man.
You can try again.
I'm
We've
gonna
had-
try one more
we've
time
had
because
people-
does it count if it doesn't even leave the thing?
Let's see. Ooh, yeah, we'll give you one more because those two were pretty
Students,
bad.
if at first you don't succeed.
There we go. All right, and that's going to be on there. We're not editing out any of those misses, by the way, so that was good. But again, appreciate you being on. Like always, we just appreciate the work that you do, for our students and our staff, and looking forward to a good year.
Excellent, thanks. I'm looking forward to a great year as well, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
All right, and so again, thank you everyone for tuning back in with us for season 2 of Talk 122 with your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough. I'm excited to continue to do this. I'm excited for the team that's behind me in obviously producing all of this, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing with this, so I can't do this. So there's some talented people behind the scenes that are continuing to do this with us, and so with me, and so I really appreciate that. And so as always, I am Harlem, you are Harlem, we are Harlem. I see you at Orange and Black.